So earlier today, Elon had tweeted that Bitcoin will be accepted as a form of payment for future car purchases. There's a roadmap for it, and that is essentially when 50% of the mining activity comes from clean energy. All right. Yeah. So it's cool that he's acknowledging like it's not just, hey, when we feel like it, this is what we need to see is what he says. Okay. So for those that don't know, Bitcoin people were in love with the Bitcoin community, and crypto community was in love with Elon because he was on board with Doge. He was on board with Bitcoin. Tesla announced on May 12th, basically a month ago, they announced that they were going to allow Bitcoin for car purchases, for Tesla car purchases, which was huge. And then subsequently they canceled that. However, that's when they canceled it, was a month ago. So that was a hit, and I think he's been kind of in the doghouse in general. But earlier in the show, I had talked about the fact that we look for opportunities and for things beaten down and for people that are just kind of down on certain things. And people are down on Elon, and people are down on Tesla. They just had China numbers come out for May that were not great. My argument is I haven't seen a trend yet. And I get the argument. I get sort of the case. Yeah. But I'm not stepping away from Tesla. They'll find a way, and they always have, and they always will. I believe in this company, and they're just so far ahead of their competition that I think they're going to do really, really well. And so,
did you see the reactions to the Plaid event? Some of the people that are driving those Plaids, man, they're like little schoolgirls in that.
Really?
Yeah, it was just pretty wild. I mean, the presentation was boring because obviously it's Elon, and
yeah,
people can't get down with that, but the product itself was amazing.
Yeah, so that was released this week, and that was the next thing I was going to bring up. I'm glad you mentioned that. They just released that this week, and I think the hype's going to be around there. And let's not forget, semis are going to be a topic of conversation soon. Any day now, we're going to have semis into the conversation. Yeah. We have the Roadster. We just have a lot of exciting things that are coming up in the pipeline for Tesla. This company is going to be around a decade from now in a dominant position. I believe that. Yeah. I really do believe that. And so, to me, I think this is a great opportunity for me to leverage, I guess the I don't want to say the hate towards him, but basically sort of the heat that Elon is facing. Yeah. Because overall, he's the type of CEO I want, no matter what, whether he says or not. And I would ask, I'm not saying that this isn't available, but I can't think of anything that Elon hasn't said that really hasn't come to light, right? Like, we thought Doge was a troll, but it wasn't. It was actually the truth.
Yeah. So, except for his timelines. He gets a little overzealous about his timelines, about how things are going to show up by a certain date, and lots of times he ends up pushing them back.
But everybody does that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not anything new, and I think that goes to his just I guess just his disposition. Like, he just relies on other people. If it was him, that dude just works and he goes nonstop. Right. Unfortunately, that's not everybody in this world, and so that's like construction. It's like when you build I used to be in hospitality. When you build a bar, anytime somebody set a date on when it was going to open, you knew construction was going to extend. Yep. Like, that's just unfortunate, but you have to give timelines, and they don't always hit, and usually they won't. And I think the automotive is the same way. Just stuff comes up, and there's regulatory issues and a host of things. So, to my point, listen, Elon, I don't think he has the bone that's like, hey, who am I going to try to troll? He gets ambitious and when he says things, but the guy thinks big, and he's going to say big, boisterous things. Really, most of the things he says come true. Like, he's not lying to people. So, and he got in trouble with the SEC when he was saying, I was in talks to take this thing public. That wasn't a lie.
Private, yeah.
Or private. That wasn't a lie. Right. That was the truth. Yeah. But this is the problem, guys, and I'm going to be clear. How are you going to get mad at Elon when the dude is doing what you wish every other CEO did? He's speaking his mind, and he's giving you access. So on one hand, you're complaining because these CEOs are acting like politicians and are always trying to spin things to sound good. But you have this guy, Elon, Dave Portnoy's the same way, Chamath's the same way, where they spit the truth, and you're upset about it, like I'd much rather have him do that than have these CEOs that go on CNBC and they're trying to paint a picture and it's all political where they're like trying to spin a negative into a positive. No, he's going to shoot you straight, and that's the kind of CEO I want to be behind, and that's why I still believe in Tesla, and it's why it's on one of my top stocks.